Hello, it's Talking Reds. It's Derby Day. It's John Gibbons and Josh Sexton to help you build up to the excitement. But I mean, no more excitement's needed, is it, Josh? It's one of the first games we look for when the fixtures come out. It's Everton away. It's all the memories that Des conjure up, and yeah, I can't wait for it.
Absolutely, yeah. I think whenever you think about Goodison in December, your mind just casts back to that Sadio Mane in 2016-17 season, and then you just can't help but get excited for it. And there always feels like there's so much riding on it as well. You know, there's sort of like that like pride at stake thing, and you know, there's not always league positions to sort of, you know, tussle over, but Liverpool are always fighting for something, and Everton will be fighting for it absolutely as well. So yeah, it's definitely going to be an exciting game, I think. Yeah,
it's going to be an exciting one. The night game just sort of seems to sort of add to it. Really, it feels like all day it's going to be a you know everyone talking about it. You know, that's what I love being in the city for stuff like this. You know, our office and studios, people know, is right in the heart of the city centre. You know, right on the waterfront. And when you go into town to get like a sandwich or pop into a shop or something, everyone's just talking about the game, aren't they? And it's a football obsessed city anyway, but ramps up for Derby Day.
You can feel like everyone's got Derby belly around you. You can just see nervous people sort of shuffling around. Like no one really knows whether to ask whether red or blue or not. You think everyone just sort of looks nervous, and that shows how much it means. And like you say, you know, you do love being in the city on these days, and it feels like one of them ones where like you should be able to go and get in the pub early. So me and you will obviously go and do that after this.
Oh yeah, this is the last thing me and Josh have got scheduled until 10 o'clock tonight. So let's see what we're stating by then. I did ask someone for pint predictions before the game, and they said 41.
41?
Yeah, I don't know if that was their own or what they thought me and you would do. But as long as it's between
us. It's like combined between the three of us.
But between the three of us, yeah, that's sort of fairly achievable. But it's funny you say about, you know, Reds or Blues. We've got some Blues next door here, actually, and they are pretty sound. But I know I did hear one of them saying, "Oh yeah, give me tickets up on Wednesday." Do you know what I mean? Like, no, give it to someone else. It's like I called them, accusing him of crying it in. But there is a bit of that going on with Everton, isn't it? I don't think, you know, they're expecting too much because they're in such poor form. And I think, you know, there's two ways of looking at that, really. You know, one's they've got nothing to lose, but I do feel like with Liverpool, if we can get on top early, you know, their crowd, that can be an asset sometimes, will turn into a bit of a negative for them.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, I think, because, you know, with Everton it can sort of flip either way, and I think there's an extent to which they worry me most when they are the sort of wounded animal and their backs are against the wall, because it means that they'll just fight for absolutely everything in this game. And then there's an extent to which, you know, I wouldn't want to play Everton when they're in a good way. I think we've seen, you know, Marco Silva sides in particular sort of turn up at Liverpool full of confidence when they've been in better ways, and then we've seen, you know, worse Everton sides than that turning up and still sort of having a bit of that confidence and swagger about them, because as you say, they've got nothing to lose. I think there's a few Blues I've spoke to who've sort of been crying it in and sort of not looking forward to this game. But I think, you know, it's one of them where form always does go out the window, and Liverpool will be hoping in this case that it doesn't, and hoping that they can sort of, you know, stay calm, keep 11 men on the pitch and all that kind of thing, all the cliches of what Jurgen Klopp was saying in his press conference about it being just another game. And I think that's the mentality that Liverpool should approach it with, because I think anything else just feeds into Everton's side, really.
Yeah, I think Jurgen will try and calm them, but I think there'll be a steely determination from our lads to put a couple of things sort of right, really. You know, not just the Goodison game last year, but also they beat us at Anfield last year, and that would have stung. You know, it might have been an empty Anfield and stuff like that. But both results, yes, last year in a funny sort of way, I think will be in the minds of the players this time. Obviously, that 2-2 was like everything that went wrong, wasn't it? You know, in terms of the injuries, but also a last-minute winner, sort of getting ruled out and stuff like that. And then the fact that they won at Anfield, you know, without needing to do much, really. You know, without much of a fight from Liverpool. I think, as I say, a steely determination is what these players will have. You know, I don't think they'll come out and be flying into mad tackles or anything like that. Yeah. But I think, you know, if you offered Virgil van Dijk, for example, one game he could win in December, he picked this one.
Absolutely, yeah. I think there's a bit of a stigma around like the idea of it being revenge, isn't there? Particularly, you know, like from the club and the manager's side, because as you say, you don't want to go out there and see like tackles flying in the sea, players getting injured on either side, or see red cards on either side. You sort of want to see it, you know, kept to like an even enough game, and then hope that Liverpool sort of win it on those terms. So I think like the idea of revenge in terms of like the results of what happened last season, even just in terms of, you know, this Liverpool side and the way they went about things last season, what happened last season, obviously all sort of starts at Goodison Park with the injuries to Virgil van Dijk and Thiago. It feels like it sort of, you know, gradually derails from there the season. And I think they'll look at that as sort of like the flashpoint last season. They'll look at that as the first point where things started to go wrong, and that's where they'll want to put it right this season. They'll want to show that, you know, the season before that when they won the league wasn't just a blip, and that last season was the blip, and you know, Liverpool should be challenging for league titles, and then this Liverpool side can absolutely do that, and you know, that a big part of that starts tonight.
Absolutely. I think Liverpool are going to be a bang up for it in a very channelled, sensible way. Talking about channelled, sensible guys, Neil Atkinson and Gareth Roberts did a little preview yesterday. Here's a little clip from that to get you in the mood. And when we come back, we're going to be bringing in some of your score predictions and we're going to do a bit of team chat.
And I'm annoyed that, you know, in the last 9 years, genuinely not messing about, we've won a European Cup, we've won a league, we've come second, we've played some really good football on and off, 13-14, came second then. We've only won there once in 9, and that's got to be better. Once in 9 again, and trust me, it was brilliant when Mane scored. Once in 9, though, of getting that moment at Goodison Park, of someone getting a winner at Goodison Park. Winners at Goodison Park count double.
I wonder whether it's a little bit different this time as well, in that, you know, I kind of feel that Klopp has done the thing of always taking the emotion out of it, saying it's another game, saying it's just another team. But this time around, we're involved in a three-way tussle for the title. We can't afford draws. We've had too many already, some would say.
Yeah.
And so we need to go there and win. We've been good on the road. Like, it won't take much for it to turn toxic there at all. And like I say, I think as well what happened last season, you know, and what happened with the injuries and all that will just add to a little edge in the squad. Whether the manager takes advantage of that behind the scenes or not, I don't know. But, you know, like, I watched the match at the weekend and I'm like, Virgil scores, Thiago scores, both in fine fettle ready to go to Goodison. And you're like, that feels like a little story here. That feels like a little thread for this game.
I couldn't agree more, but then the flip side of that is Liverpool can't lose themselves in the occasion. They've got to rise above it. Not. I genuinely sounds absolutely perfect the way in which you've just described all of that. But, you know, I would literally, you know, give organs/thumbs for Origi 1-0 92 minutes again.
Oh, all day.
But when you say about it turning toxic, I think this is the key thing from a Liverpool point of view. I think it's if there's been a game this season, I think Liverpool at times are starting really well and at times they're growing into games. If they could start this one well, pin Everton back, score the first goal, there's a chance that by 30 minutes that ground is practically unbearable for those Everton players and that Everton manager.
To get full access to this show, click on the link in the post and subscribe to Talk Premium. You get all of our content, including previews, reviews, post-match content, exclusive interviews and loads of transfer chats. So subscribe to the Anfield Wrap now. We share the journey of supporting Liverpool from heart of the city. If you want more of that from Neil and Gareth, and of course all our post-match reaction tonight as well, coming at you from the heart of the city in Liverpool, where audio is up at L4 actually, and the video is from the city centre. Yeah, if you want all that, make sure you subscribe to the Anfield Wrap. If you want audio and video, you can go to theanfieldwrap.com/subscribe, or you can subscribe to just the video just through YouTube as well if you press a button somewhere on your screen there. So get involved, make sure. We think it's a fantastic time to subscribe to the Anfield Wrap, especially with all these games coming thick and fast. You know, I tweeted something out this morning, you know, saying like a big December, you know, and it starts big 9 games, you know, and you feel like Liverpool, you know, this is the part of the season where we can really make a statement starting tonight.
100%, yeah, and I think you saw it in the league table at the weekend in terms of the way that it feels now like Liverpool, City and Chelsea have sort of broke away from the rest of the pack a bit. I think like the nearest team to City is West Ham, and they're sort of like 5 or 6 points behind now, which feels, you know, maybe not insurmountable. It's probably a bit too early to say that, but it feels like from this point that those 3 teams will just start distancing. And like you say, it's an opportunity, because we've seen in the past that City have got some, you know, bad results around this time of the season, and Liverpool have, you know, in recent seasons certainly sort of got good results around this time of the season. So it's a massive opportunity for us to keep winning games. The game's coming thick and fast, as you say, and there's, you know, chances for other teams to be dropping points in there. Yeah,
I'll bring in some of your comments then. I did ask for some score predictions. They're all as confident as you can imagine. Steve Walsh saying 4-1, same for Robbie Millington. Trev saying 3-0 at half-time for the Reds, so predicted a quick start that we talked about before. Mark Swain and Dave Kervick, both 4-0, and so everyone's sort of feeling confident. And then Electric's there saying 5-0, a Divock masterclass incoming. I mean, there's been a bit of talk about across our content this week about maybe a Divock wildcard or something. Personally, Josh, I'd be really surprised if he doesn't go more or less the team that played at the weekend. But I guess you do never know with the manager.
You do never know, to be honest. But I like the idea of Divock being able to come off the bench as like a break glass for Divock emergency
or just because everyone's having a nice time and and add a Divock.
Well, exactly. Throw a Divock in there for a couple of goals. Hopefully, that's the way it is.
Like a star on the top of a Christmas tree.
Exactly. Yeah, like the icing on top of the Christmas cake.
Yeah.
I'd be massively excited for the idea of Divock being able to sort of come into the game off the bench and affect things. And I think the bench will be dead strong for this one as well. It's one of the sort of underrated things about having lads who actually aren't injured is that your bench is stronger and can affect games. So yeah, expect, as you say, the Reds to go pretty much similar to what they did on Saturday. But then there's the idea of, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's on fire, being able to come off the bench, Divock Origi being able to come off the bench, Tsimikas if it's that kind of thing we need. So yeah, it's a massively exciting prospect, isn't it? Yeah,
whoever he picks, there'll be plenty of quality there. Just to bring in a few more of the comments, Davey B saying, Neil not helping with my Derby belly on the preview there. He's a fridge. Davey, feel free to text him that as well. Absolutely scandalous behaviour.
@Knox_Harrington on Twitter.
Feel free. Bit of praise for the tree from Warhammer saying, Royhammer, sorry, 8 out of 10 tree, needs a few jazzy baubles, and it's there. We nearly did some jazzy baubles this Christmas, but couldn't quite get them right. But maybe next year, the Anfield Wrap will have their own jazzy baubles.
It doesn't usually get much love, the tree, to be honest,
well,
does it?
That's why I read it out, because I was pleased. I think it's been more like, let's say, tastefully decorated this year.
Maybe, yeah.
A bit more sort of. I think it was a bit sort of thrown up last year as well. So it's a bit a slightly more cared for
We've
job.
had Tom on it this year, haven't we, instead of Sam? Maybe that's the difference.
I mean, when I always say, Tom's got the best eye in the business. You know what I mean? And Sam could learn a lot from him in terms of design and stuff like that. But no, everyone here sort of looking forward to it. And a shout here for Ray Kennedy as well. We should mention. There's a really nice piece that went up on the website yesterday. The car was close to Ray, I think it's fair to say, and that's up there for people to read.
Yeah, Carl knew the family very well, so obviously massively sad for sort of anybody involved or who knew Ray. And Liverpool fans in general, he was an absolute legend of this club, wasn't he? He won everything there was to win, scored massive goals. I loved watching the club's compilation they put out yesterday of his goals, and just like the sheer nonchalance of the man. To be honest, I think that spoke a lot about who he was as a person and a character. That he was sort of this almost like quiet hero, and he was such a hero for Liverpool Football Club. So yeah, it's massively sad news.
Yeah, massively sad news. I love the legend of this club gone. But we'll all look forward to it tonight. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Enjoy it wherever it is you're watching the game. As I said before, straight after the game we'll be doing our post-match content in the build-up. Keep an eye on our social media as well. There'll be people at the ground, people out in town enjoying it, sort of doing different bits as well. I will also, as we're into December now, give a quick shout out to our shop, to our merch, theanfieldwrap.com/shop if you want to be getting involved in there. We've got gift cards, gift subscriptions, so if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to, and you've got an auntie or an uncle or something saying, I don't know what to buy yet, there's gift subscriptions there, you can point them there that way. We set them all up for you, get a nice little e-card, and then it'll get set up to start on whatever day you want. So do get involved with gift subscriptions either for yourself or someone else. And also, we do a bit of a thing in December, which is tops for the tenner. So every day there's a different top for the tenner, and today is this one, which is actually our best ever selling top. So there
really nice top, that.
It is a really nice one. Until Salah, I was never happy. It's our best ever selling top. Probably as much to do with Mo being amazing, to be honest with you, as the lovely design. But it is a really nice design. Really pleased with that one. And so we're starting with a bit of a bang. That's yours, available for the tenner just today, or until Michael switches them over tomorrow. So there we are. So, but do be reasonably quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd get it today if I were you, because
get it right now.
Because you might swap them in Motel and Bells tonight, and then you'll wake up tomorrow and you'll be gutted. So there we are. So yeah, top for the tenner today. But as I say, get stuck in the shop and get stuck in to the Anfield Wrap, and let's get stuck into these Blues tonight. Up the Reds.